Uber could be facing some major changes at the top after a highly anticipated board meeting. Tracee Carrasco has all the details. Good morning, Tracee.
Good morning. Now, Uber's board of directors met on Sunday to discuss all of its recent issues on the table. A possible leave of absence for embattled CEO Travis Kalanick and the potential resignation of Chief Business Officer Emil Michael. A leave of absence for Kalanick comes at a time of both personal and professional turmoil. Now, the 40-year-old's mother recently died in a boating accident at the end of May. His father was also injured in the accident, and Kalanick has been tending to him. And just last week, a racy memo Kalanick sent to Uber employees in 2013 was released, and then in February, Kalanick was also seen in a video yelling at an Uber driver. As for Michael, he could resign as early as today. Now, that's according to a report from the Wall Street Journal. You'll remember in 2014, Michael suggested that Uber hire a team of opposition to dig into the personal lives of journalists who reported negatively about Uber. Michael's departure is said to be related to an internal investigation into Uber's workplace culture by former U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder. Holder's investigation comes after 20 managers and other employees were fired last week for claims of harassment, discrimination, and bullying. Holder's recommendations for the company were presented at Sunday's board meeting, which could also include a new HR process, training, and to address the future of key executives, including Emil Michael and Travis Kalanick. Now, Uber has not issued any comments on these recent developments.
Well, and Michael, just to open it up to the panel, this raises an issue about if Kalanick has to step aside at least for a short time, take a leave of absence. Who's running the show over there, given the turmoil, given the management shakeup that is still ongoing?
What I want to know is, I'll start out by asking a question, Tracee. How prevalent is this sort of culture in Silicon Valley? We always hear that, everyone in Silicon Valley is so open-minded. There seems to be this entitlement, like we're talented programmers and creatives of these businesses, therefore we can run wild, frankly. It sounds like a very frat boy type culture.
Well, Mitch can answer that, too. Not that you're a frat boy, but, you've worked with, that's what you do for a living. You're a consultant. Yeah. And you would have a sense of how Uber's culture, if you will.
The interesting thing about Uber that people forget is the headquarters staff is different than everybody we're dealing with every day, right?
Of course.
Well, I'm talking about the management team and the corporate culture.
It could be a culture problem, driving, no pun intended, towards the goal of creating that company, and it's just created a very unusual environment that you don't see in too many other enterprises, because there's story after story after story there.
Well, Kalanick, after that viral video, he did come out and apologize and said, I need to grow up, I need to be a little more mature. And I think that's one of the things we're really seeing. He's 40 years old running this company, and I think
I know within Silicon Valley, people who work at other companies have been for a long time very uncomfortable with what was going on at Uber, and you can see, and then this is even before you begin to really see it on the outside with the reporter who was essentially tracked with the executive who had the medical records of a rape victim in India. It's just more and more keeps bubbling up and coming out.
Yeah, regardless, will people actually, given this culture, I'm an Uber user, I might be too stubborn or lazy to actually change my current app and move over to a service such as a Lyft. I don't know if it's enough to get me to move. I just want, when you want a car, hello, I'm here, come pick me up. I'm not sure that I'm thinking of, oh my gosh, what has the CEO, what has he done?
If the service was better, if the service was super great, then people wouldn't be so quick to move over to Lyft. And there are a lot of, you've talked about this. There are a lot of other services. Just the taxi, Taxi and Limousine Commission here in New York City is really trying to.
And they have an app now.
Yeah, I've used it once. Never again. Tracee, thank you so much. Tracee Carrasco, all over the Uber story.